The following podcast is scheduled for one fall with no time limit.
Super hot fire!
The greatest spectacle in podcast entertainment, Mr. WrestleMania.
That was literally verbal diarrhea. I'm setting the bar awfully low. Titus O'Neil keeps running directly into that bar. Get him off my TV, get him off my TV. You make me very angry.
The man who has a better IQ than you, the awe-inspiring JC.
You should go work for WWE because you'd be so up far up Vince's butt.
No.
Oh, you are such a sucker.
You
You
are.
defend everything, all the bad moves they make.
This is the Jobber Knocker Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker Podcast. As always, it's WrestleMania. Alongside for the ride is JC. We had a week.
You know what?
I'm excited.
I've decided that JC is going to be all elite.
Wow.
Should we just change this podcast to an AEW podcast
I think
now, like
this
today?
is where Cap turns off right now. Off the.
I mean, in all seriousness, like, I am always been and always probably will be a WWE guy first, but I was hot and bothered there by the weekend in a good way. And we were both on our way in to record today, listening to Drop Today, the Talk is Jericho podcast. Look at us, we're plugging another podcast right on the top with Moxley. And that thing is super hot fire. So make sure you listen to a lot of good stuff. That dude just like, he hasn't talked at all.
Oh, it's verbal diarrhea.
So it's literally just like spewing out, and
it's
it's a good shit. It's a good window into the back, and it's for me. I literally tweeted this out. For me, it's very relatable.
Sure. Because
it's a character. It's making him sound human.
Yeah.
You can take pieces of it and apply it to your own life in your own way, and just it's humanizing. And for me, like that's exciting.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? We're gonna get more into AEW in the finish,
Sure,
as well as
absolutely.
NXT Takeover, which
Yes.
somehow just forgetting about that, which is like that show should be amazing.
Right now, TJ's losing his mind. He's like, I should be on there
Yeah.
talking about this because he's the only
Well,
well-informed
you're gonna have to
person.
read his articles at
true.
TJ of the JK on Jobber Knocker for all the recap there because and previews and all that because that is looking like great stuff. But you know what?
It's time to get shiny.
We start in the shine, and I really liked a few things this week.
I'll let you have the floor. It's fine.
Well, the first one we don't have to get deep into it, but I mean, it's happening. It's happening. Baron Corbin is the #1 contender for the WWE Universal Championship. He earned it. For some reason, they did the thing where it's like, oh yeah, he wasn't originally in the match. He's replacing AJ. And it's like, well, okay, so he's going to win. And he wins in a match that I thought was pretty solid, despite the rules kind of being a little
they were going to get
unclear.
to yeah.
But the sequence was great with Miz at the end with the phenomenal end of days to finish him off. But I thought this was good. And one more thing before I let you say what you want to say. People who are mad about this, I got what I want and you got what you want. I get my boy where he deserves in a championship match.
In a throwaway.
Whereas all the people who don't like Baron Corbin, he's getting his opportunity in a Saudi show that you're all saying you're not going to watch anyways.
Yep.
So what better spot to give Corbin his opportunity than there instead of putting it on a real pay-per-view?
Ultra positive.
This is like a shine for everyone for different reasons. So bask in the glory.
That's
but nobody just fucking crown our king, man.
Our king.
Crown our king.
It's going to happen someday.
The day should be next Friday. Is that what it is? You know what? I'll watch this match at work. I'll think it's on like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll bring the old iPad in. I will watch Baron Corbin win the Universal Championship.
I wanted so badly to take Friday off and have a watch-along party.
Oh,
but it would be like just how bad this is going
There's
to be.
only 2 matches I want to see, though.
No, I know, but the rest of it is just like, it's like you put something on in the background and you just have a good time with your buddies. Like, I would have loved to do that with this pay-per-view only because it's so like it doesn't matter.
Oh, I just get rip-roaring drunk.
Yeah. Well,
Every
whatever.
time something racist or sexist or homophobic happens, take a drink.
It's called an international event. It's not even, they don't even mention
It's
Saudi
bigger
Arabia.
than WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's true.
God.
Which is great because, fuck WrestleMania. Anyway, so look, I enjoyed, I'll talk more about it later on the show, but there's specifics that I just want to get into right now where I enjoyed the match. I thought the Fatal 4-Way was great. I love that he attacked AJ. If AJ's really out for a couple months, that's a bummer because he started to get a little bit more of his footing back in. I hate to see that, but you hate to see that happen.
I think it might be good for him, too, because then maybe we can finally get that character change we want.
Maybe.
But
maybe. But anyway, we get back. It was a fun match. And like I said, the only thing that I will harp on that you already kind of mentioned was that they made a big stink in commentary and in as well as the ring announcements that it was supposed to be an elimination fatal 4-way. And then you have Braun and Bobby just like bumble to the back.
After the match, I think Michael or Corey said, "Oh yeah, Braun and Bobby just eliminated themselves."
Yeah,
I
it's
was
just
like, that's not how it works.
It's just so bad.
There's no countouts.
And for the people that are like at the commentary desk, like if like they're doing the best they can.
Oh yeah,
they're literally covering for so many people and they're enhancing so many people and putting people over. But God, when you're watching at home, like I sit there and I think, man, that's got to be rough on those guys because you made your commentary team look stupid by something you could have just, included them on, right? So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. So I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, well, whatever. We'll get to the rest of it. But The Miz, in my opinion, has never looked so good when I was watching that match and like the crowd was adamantly behind him. He had everything he needed. He knew that everything needed to be crisp. He made everybody look good. And then, of course, he ate that end of days like a champion. It was just everything flowed really well. And I was very happy. And I almost sans Bobby Lashley, I stood up and I went, wow, this is a Josh match. Like, this is, who the fuck is Josh? But it was like, I was just like, wow, like this is.
Yeah, Baron Corbin.
This is a JC
Miz.
Extreme. Bonanza.
Who was the fourth person?
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby
Braun.
My mind is just, it's like ricocheting all over the place.
Pew, pew, which a great way to segue. Hey, look at that.
Super hot fire match of the week. I would watch this match every single week. Like for me, like honestly, this is my true super shine of the week. If Baron Corbin didn't win that match, it wouldn't have been my shine of the week. It just Baron Corbin's my guy, and I was happy. This to me was the best part of WWE this week, bar none, because you took two guys who are just good, solid, amazing wrestlers and let them just go out there. What was it, like 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
It was a fucking spectacle to watch. Some of the shit they do, it's like there are so many guys on the roster that if you do this with, they don't have to wrestle every week, but every other week if you kind of rotate these guys in, this is that wrestling portion of your audience that you want to bring in. It makes you watch. It's like, okay, this is what I want. This is what those other companies that are trying to compete with WWE are preaching, like, make it about wrestling. Like, WWE didn't have a lot of wrestling this week, but this stood out for a reason because they just let two guys, they're not the top of the card, they're not the bottom of the card, they're guys jockeying for position. And they let them go out there and just do it. Like, there were so many other guys across this roster that just use like this. You have 5 hours of live television on Monday and Tuesday. Why don't we get more of this?
Because they're afraid, that's why. They're afraid.
Let them
JC.
wrestle, you coward.
They're afraid. Look, there was so much about this I wanted to like just put it in a container and eat it later. Like I really, really enjoyed it. Like I was sitting there I couldn't eat it, but I'm like sitting there going, this is delicious. Like I loved this segment, and I was just so happy that it was going on. And then of course the uppercut, and he explodes in the corner. I was just like, it's just like so many things I was just so passionate about. I'm like, this is what I love. Like this is like, it's always funny because now like I'll look at Raw and I'll be like, I know they're not stupid because they show glimpses of like, yeah, this is exactly what I signed up for. You give me a buffet, I'm fine with. But then like the part of if I went through a buffet, right, and I wanted really badly, I wanted some baby back ribs, right? And it's like, they don't give you enough baby back ribs. It's like, yeah, you have a little bit here. No. I want that to be like my main course. Now, I'm not saying my main event. I'm just saying like I want more of it, And there's so much about this matchup where I'm like, this is great stuff. Going back and forth with each other, it made everybody look good. And you know what? It's like if you have a long enough match, you don't even care about the outcome. Like, yeah, that was a good finish.
You're along for the ride.
Yeah, and it's great because, like, it's not like a TV segment where it's like, here's 7 minutes, and here's a fucking schmoz countdown of, like, here we go, 3, 2, 1, we know something stupid happens, there's a DQ, or here's some fucking ridiculous shit at the end. But it was like 15 minutes, you get to a point where, like, I don't even care. Like, it's just like, if somebody's coming up to you and be like, yeah, give me what I want. Yeah, of course I do. I want it right now. And that's what I got for, like, that 15 minutes. I was like, oh, at least the next 2 hours can suck. Like, that's how I felt. You know what? You gave, like, you can force me your bullshit. As long as you give me a little bit back.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
So, for me, the Bruins are obviously playing on Monday, too, so I was switching between. But this match was during, one of the intermissions. So I watched the entire thing and I remember our boy Billy was in doing some Bruins coverage for us, which is exciting.
TV's Billy Delaney?
Get my buddy back, yeah. at Billy D2411.
TV's own Billy Delaney.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it was during intermission. He was saving it all for later, but I was just like, oh my God. I was just like in awe. And it was one of those things. I don't do this like ever. I watched the whole thing at work, and when I went home and tried to catch up on the things I missed, I watched this entire thing again at 0x, like regular
Negative
speed.
X.
If there was a slow-mo button, I would have slow-moed it because this thing was fucking art. Like, I don't rewatch many things ever, but like this I did because it was good, and I was like, man, this is what I'm looking for. This, mwah!
Magnifique.
Oh, yeah. What else you got?
Very, very quickly, though, this is not necessarily a positive or negative. It's just something that I wish would be, this is an additional Nestle hope. They need to do something different about, like, I like the entrance of Cesaro, but somebody on Twitter was like, you have a zoom up on just the fist and you zoom out to just him. Or, like you have like a 360 turn, or you have some type of presentation. Like, I know they're going to figure it out, or maybe they won't. But it's just
Remember that?
yeah. But it's just like, I need something to make him feel more epic. I need him to feel like more, like he's a mountain of a man, or like film him from down low or whatever. Like they have all the jibs and the steady cams and all this stuff. Like do something with him, because I mean the bar essentially had something cool.
Yeah.
Like let's have something for him where it's like, yeah, this works, because I'm looking at it going like he has this awesome song and it's like he comes out like everybody else, and it's just like, yeah. Like you have, bing, 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 ricochet. It's like you have the thing. Like
too much.
Even though that's too much, he still makes it work.
Yes.
And it's just like he's got his flip. He's got the fucking touch into the sky. He's got the fucking drill.
He's a fucking superhero.
Yeah,
legitimate. He's fucking Spider-Man mixed with like every other fucking cool guy.
But give those things to Cesaro, because then it makes it even, where I'm watching it going like, yeah, the presentation in the ring is great, but now the whole presentation, the whole plate is great.
There needs to be some sort of stain at the beginning when he comes out, because I like the music too, but it's very like soft and mellow.
Yeah.
I need something to grab. Like it's one of those things. Like with any music, you need something to like grab me. Like I need something, or a Mandy. Always in the shine.
Damn
Hashtag Mandy
Damn
on the mag.
Mandy on the mag? Is that an actual hashtag?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Wow.
That magazine, I'm sure everyone's picked up their copies.
Josh has a couple sticky
Corey
pages.
Graves, like you saw Corey Graves' mag, like that's me too. By the way, her tweet at Carmella, did you see it?
No, I did not.
She was like, he's reading what a real woman looks like at Carmella or something. It was just like, oh! By the way, those two going back and forth. Good stuff on the interwebs. But not only do we get a backstage segment of her and Sonya handing out magazines for free, like Good Samaritans. They even gave Ember Moon 3. Like, how nice are they? They're so nice. Then we come back. We get a vignette of them. And then Mandy has a great match with the greatest running knee in the history of sports entertainment. You got to admit, that was a superb running knee.
It's the only thing she does where I'm like,
flawless
execution. It's the only thing where I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of walking around and throwing people in the turnbuckle. But the minute she hit that knee, I'm like, okay, you bought yourself a couple minutes.
She even hit the ropes which was something else. So look at improvement. And of course, the big win. Everything is coming up Mandy lately. She wishes me a happy birthday. She's in ladder matches. She's winning singles matches. She's on magazine covers. She's always in the shine. She's got like a new little outfit where she has like a thing on, and it's great.
Draper, vampire-looking cape.
God, she's amazing.
I never thought that in a million years that Sonya would take such a far back seat and be the hype woman. It was just like, this is what a real woman looks like. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
It is crazy. But I'm glad they teased the thing with like an Iconics, because I do really want a tag team run out of them, because I really like them together. It's just like that thing where it's like that we obviously
they are fire and desire.
Exactly. Like they're kind of like that polar opposite team, but it works. It meshes, and it's a nice mix. And where you don't have a women's tag team division because the Kabuki Warriors got a name and haven't been around since, it's like
my daddy gave me a name.
These two, like you're putting it on every week because they're compelling.
Yeah.
They're getting things every single week on SmackDown, on a show where we get the fucking same shit on Raw and SmackDown with this fucking wild card. This is one of the few things that is literally on SmackDown every week for a reason. Like, why not integrate it with the tag division for now? It'd be good. It'd be refreshing.
Yeah.
Whatever. What do I know?
All right. I've never seen you be so excited and then you just end on,
Well, it's just...
It's frustration.
That's kind of how WWE is. It's like, you have this formula. You have the talent. You have the money. You have the possibilities. And
you've got the power.
What I get. It's like, you know what? It's just the perfect way to encapsulate it is during the Usos Black Party, EC3 drinking. Like, that's all of us. That's all of us. Just be like, Just chugging.
You cannot throw the
chugging
block
beer.
party in the shine. There's just no way you can do that.
EC3 chugging and looking miserable.
That's it.
Again.
That's it. That's the only portion of that.
Absolute stud, top 1%. Get that man on fucking television. He was on
Get him
television.
on your TV.
He was on TV for about 5 frames, and he was more over than anything else in those 12 segments. Because
12?
he just fucking oozes charisma.
I think
fucking
that's just
Moxley said it on the podcast. It's like, EC3 is so good. Get him on TV. Get him on TV.
He actually put over EC3.
Of course he did. He's like, yeah, I had. He's like, it was talking about like when EC3 squashed him in 2 minutes. He's like, it's the worst thing for both of us. He's like, EC3 is one of my really good friends, and I love him, and he's so talented. And fucking they're booing him because they're mad that they're burying me.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah. I think he was dripping spray tan, but that's fine.
I don't care. He's
not
the
charisma.
best.
That's fine. All right. Anything else that you enjoyed? Wow, you paused. That makes me think no.
I mean, Kofi and KO was a fun match.
So I didn't really give a shit about that match, only because I
Me
felt
either.
like
They lost me because they had a package, and then
Yeah, that's
they're like,
kind of the
we're
thing.
kicking off with the match and package
Yeah.
promo. So, but it looked good, and when I was half paying attention at work.
I will say this much. I was actually very excited, and you may not agree with me on this. I actually really enjoyed the T promo backstage with Lacey and Charlotte.
I loved it.
Thought it was great. Thought that was wonderful. I was like, this is wonderful. They're playing up the tea time thing, which used to be Becky and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
They've interjected Lacey in it, and I was like, this is great. And of course, Charlotte wearing pink and everything. I'm like, that's fine. That's wonderful. Obviously, in every single way. And then Lacey comes out, whatever, and does her thing, and then it's like Bayley versus Lacey, and I'm like, they've iterated and they've hit it home where it's like Bayley's no longer a hugger. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. But the background on her is like hug time and whatever.
Yeah,
but it's just whatever.
Actions and visuals speak louder than what the fuck you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe we need some type of revamp there at least. But anyway, that's beside the point. The match I thought with Lacey and Bayley was a lot of fun. It was hard hitting. I enjoyed what they did there. I thought it was very, very good. And I didn't hate the idea of maybe toying with the idea of Charlotte and Lacey being a tag team. I appreciated so here's what happened. I got to a point in which I thought it was a really good match, but I had to put it on mute because I couldn't deal with the 4-person yelling over each other, talking to Charlotte, kissing her ass while negating what was going on in the ring and being like they tried to bring it back around to the match, but it felt like white noise for me where it was just like, don't see the visual, pay attention to the audio, and I couldn't do it, and but I wanted to park it in here in the babyface part of the program where Bayley and Lacey, I believe, put on an amazing matchup. I thought it was probably second to Ricochet and Cesaro. I thought maybe third.
I will give you that. Nope.
But I just appreciated it very much, and I thought that it couldn't go unnoticed. And especially since we gave Bayley such a hard time in the program in years past, even though we're big Pam fans, I just want to say, watching her get some type of new kickstart to it, it's very refreshing, and I'm like, you get reminded, yes,
she's a good wrestler.
She's very good wrestler. But when she gets put in the situation to succeed, she succeeds.
Yes.
Lacey Evans puts her in a situation where I was just like, she's slowly becoming one of those ladies where I watch it and I'm like, yeah, there's nothing I can hate about it. It's just like,
love it.
It's good television, and I appreciate good television where I'm like, yeah, I would, whether I cheer or boo her or hate her or love her, I'm looking at it going, she has my attention.
It's compelling TV.
Yeah, she has my attention.
She is a compelling character because she comes on the screen and you're interested.
Yeah.
Because she's just living it. You're just living it. Yeah. I didn't love what really happened after the match. Because it was just like, it's like you teased us with something that was cool. But then I'm looking at it at the end results after that. It's like, so Lacey wildcarded over to SmackDown to get pinned by a champion, which is fine, but then to get beat up. And so it's like, not only did we convolute this, you're damaging her stock now, and she's still the top thing against Becky. It's just, this is the problem with the wild card. It's like pulling them in different directions. It's just, it's hurting the presentation for her now.
Sure.
When she goes back to Raw, I'm not going to look at her as strong, even though I should. I don't know. It just, to me, it was just like, what are they doing?
It didn't enhance, unless though I'm sure they'll try to spin it on Monday or Tuesday next week, but that's whatever.
It's just
But
bad.
you do look at it like, okay, all you needed to do was have Lacey rub shoulders up against Charlotte for me to believe that when she goes back on Monday, that it would work. Now, granted, you can't give Bayley a loss, which I understand.
Again, I thought that was fine. It was
Yeah.
what happened after the
Sure.
bell rang that was when they lost.
But you could have had Charlotte attack Bayley from behind, and then you could have had Lacey and her just put the boots to her. Nobody comes out and helps. You have the heels celebrate, and then had tea. That's it. End of segment. I would have loved it because then it's just like, yes, you've maximized Charlotte's minutes, you've maximized Bayley, and now you've maximized Lacey.
Yes.
Everybody looks good. Now, granted, everybody's going to sit there and go, oh, yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't write wrestling, yada, yada, yada. And I don't. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea. But if I can come up with something and I have no idea, then that means that somebody that has an idea is getting screwed over, most likely.
Yeah, if
So
those people say that to you, you should tell them to listen to old Moxie Boy on the Jericho podcast because...
Hey, I help run a moderately successful wrestling organization. I'm okay with whatever I do. And my ideas go, they go. I don't really care. But anyway, look, that was a segment to me that I thought, even though there were some negatives to it, I thought it was worth talking about. We probably talked too much about it, but
no, I think it's
it's
good
worth
because the things that we keep coming back to is like good, solid wrestling one-on-one matches that make sense are the things we find most interesting.
Do you have anything else? Because I'm getting to a point of which I think I enjoyed something, but I think you'll hate it. And I almost want to teeter on heat time.
So I mean, I have two things.
Yeah, I'll let you get your stuff in because
it's one of them is one of the that's like I liked how the character executed it, but I hated the gimmick, and the other one is a very good time.
A very good time. So here's the thing: you're going between two doors. If you go to the execution portion, which I think you're going to, I'm going to have a lot of fun. If you go to Detective Nestletown, then we're going down a black hole. So it's really up to you. It's a choose your own adventure, JC.
Oh God, I see. So I did the Black Mirror Choose Your Own Adventure a couple months ago, and I can make decisions when they're like
presented in front of you.
when they're meaningful decisions. But when stuff's more like that, I have a tendency to.
All right. Here's what I'll do.
Let the clock expire, and it chose for me.
Okay. All right. Here's what I'll do. We will take a momentary lapse. We will, for the very first time ever in Jobber Knocker history, I will literally put a schism, a line. I'm literally drawing a line right now. I don't know if you can hear this. But anyway, after we talk about the execution portion, but before we get into the heat, I will do specific Detective Nestle stuff for a very good time. Is that what we want to do?
Sure.
And then get into the heat?
I don't care.
I love the Boombox.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I thought that's what you were talking about.
No.
So I loved the fucking Boombox.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Boombox was great.
Boombox City, Brock Rock, whatever you want to call it, the Brock Party. I loved it. I love the music. I love that the people's music, the theme songs are playing out of the boombox. I love that he's having a good time.
They put a meme on TV.
Yes.
Like, that is smart.
Yes.
That was smart.
I enjoyed
Other
that.
parts of it weren't smart.
No, but I just want to say specifically for the boombox execution, specifically for that, I loved every second of it. Everybody's like, oh, it's stupid. I'm like, is it stupid
No, it was
if you're
entertaining.
having a good time with it?
Heyman dancing, Brock being like, what the fuck?
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
That was all good.
The rest of it we'll get to later.
Yes.
But I just want to say specifically, whoever came up with the
I agree.
boombox,
Yep.
with the music, with all that stuff, I mean,
Happy Brock is great because Brock is really fucking good.
Yes.
He didn't get to this position by mistake. He got there because he's really fucking good.
Yes.
In the ring, out of the ring. He's got the look. Everything about him is good.
he looks like the whitest kid you know.
Yes.
And I love it. I want to have more of it. And the fact here's the thing I couldn't wrestle with at the time, and I've thought about it a little bit more when it got to a point where I was like, please don't say who you're wrestling. Please don't say who you're cashing on. God damn it, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then finally he goes, wait a minute. I got this thing for a year? I was like, hold the phone. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I'm thinking to myself, it could be funny. It could be great. It could be a hilarious windy path of like he didn't know what like
Well, so here's
you
the
do
thing.
it on that way.
It's funny. It was funny that he liked that line
Yes.
and everything, but Seth Rollins cashed on him after like a year, so.
No, but the thing is just it's funny.
Yes.
Or is it a commentary on him not giving a fuck and not knowing the product?
Yes to
which
both.
is both. But when I thought about it, I went, yeah, you want to know why he doesn't care about Money in the Bank? Because he's never needed to know about it. He never cared about it. Because it never fucking mattered. Because every time some dingleberry came at him with a fucking briefcase, it was like he was out of the ring and lost it and didn't even lose it at WrestleMania 31. When Braun tried to, he picked it up and hummed it at the fucking Titantron. It's like anytime that briefcase gets like, get that shit out of here. It's just like he doesn't care. So like the fact that he has it, it's like watching a dad put together a fucking like a train set for Christmas. He doesn't fucking know what the instructions are. He just fucking has it. And it's just when I saw that, I started laughing. I'm like, yes, like the Brock party. I'm all in on it. Like the whole thing is just like. I know it humanizes him or like makes him a comedic performance, but then like the minute the fucking thing cashes in, I'm gonna go, oh shit. You know, it's just like he can be as funny or stupid as he wants to be, but the minute its playtime's over and that's cashed in, you're gonna go, oh shit. And I think they're going to, especially with the fact of, like I said last week or 2 weeks ago, when he gets the point of cashing in, it's gonna be serious time for the rest of it. But until then, he's the Joker. Doesn't have to show up every week. Yeah. Tease it. Do something fun with it. That's what I want. I don't want, like, every week him showing up. And
he won't be.
And he won't be. And this is a perfect thing of, like, forgetting, coming back, forgetting. I love it. I love it because it's fresh. So I want to put that over big time. The rest of it was dog shit. But I just want to say that. So,
I thought you were getting into
What the hell is that?
The electric chair.
Oh.
I thought that's what you were talking about. You kept saying execution.
Oh, no, you know what? That was just by serendipitous point. But I'll let you go with it.
I thought Sami Zayn did a good job, but that shit was dumb.
So here's the thing. Third hour again, if anybody hasn't noticed, they take the lights down, they make it black and white, they do a whole thing to make it more like late night with WWE Raw, whatever they do. And Corey comes out in his best fucking shaved head and his fucking military Memorial Day outfit, which was fine. Kudos to him. But he comes out, tries to be the host that he can't be, and then conducts an interview with a spinny electric chair, which is, again, nice prop, whatever.
No, it isn't.
It's a fine prop.
The prop's what I didn't like about it. I don't mind, like, the asking the audience thing. I was like, okay, this is something different. I don't mind it.
That girl wanted to keep in K-Lab the fucking blocker.
I didn't mind that portion
Heisman,
of it.
Baby.
The part that just took me out of it is like, why the fuck is there's this hokey-looking dumbass fucking chair gimmick that I don't give a fuck about?
It was a Spanish Inquisition. It was a 360 murder. That's what it was. It was just like a murderous row of like anybody could kill you with these questions. That's what they were trying to do. But the execution of it, yes, was terrible. Absolutely fucking atrocious.
They too hokified it.
Yes.
They just hokied it up. Hokey Town. I don't need Hokey Town. It's the third hour of Raw, man.
Yeah.
It's the third hour of Raw. And we're going, let's do the electric chair.
Chair. All right.
Can't believe you didn't know that song. Wow, I'm disappointing you.
I haven't gone to a lot of weddings that done the electric slide anymore. So it is what it is. Maybe Ben's.
That's what I do on Friday nights.
That's what yeah. Maybe Ben's wedding will have the electric slide. Ben, please don't have the electric slide. I'll do the Macarena, though. The Macarena's good.
Hey, Adam Nessel.
Who the fuck is Adam Nessel? No, I'll even do a Cotton Eye Joe. I'm pretty good at that, too, but that's fine. Although I will never be a Billy Delaney. Billy still is the best dancer I've ever seen in my life, so that's
wow.
That. Yep. That's a hyper Nessel right there, probably. But still, putting out points on my boy. So here's the thing. Do we go into the heat or do we go into the Detective Nessel?
Well, you do whatever you want.
Right.
I this thing for me, it's hard for me to put it in either category because I'm interested in it. I don't. It's an unpaved road. It's not there yet.
Sure.
You can't quite ride the horse on it or anything like that yet.
Oh, I can ride. I'm gonna ride into the sunset on this thing. So because it's back by popular demand, especially with our boy the doctor. Who is the backcracker, who is a avid listener. Detective Nessel is here to do what he does. And even before you guys asked, I was already taking notes because I love these segments and I go down the rabbit hole. Now, it won't be as bad as my previous one where I went into fucking Planet Fafluga, but this one I was interested in just a little bit, so it's a lot quicker. Okay, so here we go. We get into the Firefly Funhouse. See if I can do that.
You said it right.
I know, right? And he gets off the bat with a papier-mâché mask where he says, I'm using this is my new character, the Fiend. Now, the Fiend is a big thing, but I'll get to that in a moment. But he says something about, he goes, I use this when I need to be brave, and I'm scared. And I can be anything when I want to be the Fiend. More on that later.
Ooh.
So we get to a point of which he then has to deal with some side thing where it goes to Abby. And she's just like berating him in the Bray high-pitched voice or whatever. Saying something along the lines of like, you're nuts. He'll find out you're nuts. And why can't you just let me rest? Why can't you let me sleep? Which again, I looked at and said, here's something that I didn't notice until right now. And I shame on Nessel for not knowing this, right?
Shame.
Shame. Shame. Abby, right? Abby in the window.
To the wall.
Till sweat dripped down your... Anyway, so she's in the wall outside of the house. But she is in the dirt. She is implanted with the rest of the plants. Now, let's think about this for a second. Why is she in the potted plant section?
Because she's dead.
She's dead. Correct, JC. Great detective work. You'll be my junior PI.
Woo!
So I thought about it. And I said, look, she's in the dirt because she has been buried. But when you put something in the dirt, she said, why won't you let me sleep? Could she be dug up? Maybe.
Maybe he watered her like a plant.
Maybe he watered her like a plant, and now she is rising. He will not let her go. She is still a part. She is very much a living, breathing part because she is resurrected into some type of flower in a potted plant. She is still very much alive, JC, and this is what the part that bothers me because it's not over. And the fact that she just wants to die. She wants to be left to rest, but he will drag her along for the ride. And I thought about this point. He said something along the lines of like, he won't let her go. And I thought to myself, he wants her because she has always been his only friend. So let's think about friendship, right? Let's think about friendship. This is where I get a little nuts. Let's think about friendship, JC, because here's where it is. Friendship is literally the lifeblood of this segment. I'm really glad that you're my friend, and this is a friendship that will never, ever end, right? There's friends. Keep hitting it. Not like, like the 1990s sitcom Friends, which I've never, ever seen.
Really?
No, that's not true. I saw one episode once, but that was a great episode. Anyway, you get to Friends, and I thought, okay, Friends and Fiend. Awfully close. Right? So I went down the rabbit hole and I looked into what Fiend is. Fiend is actually derived from the word friend.
What are you missing?
Exactly. The letter R. So, Fiend and friend. This is good. This is good stuff. Fiend and friend are built off of the same thing. There is love from a friend, but there is hate from a fiend. Very similar to what was on his hands, heel and love. Or sorry, love and, was it heel and hate, I believe. The friendship is going to be the thread through this needle. And I'm telling you right now, the fiend, he says the fiend is here to protect us. The fiend is here to help him be brave. But when you look up the definition of fiend, JC, a fiend is obsessed, a junkie, right? You say if I'm a chocolate fiend, I'm a wrestling fiend, I'm a vanilla fiend, whatever you like. You're a fiend, bagel fiend, whatever.
Ooh.
I could go for a bagel right about now. But it truly comes down to boiling down to something that a fiend is based on an enemy, a person that will hate, a person that will feed off of something. So when I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking, here's where I'm going, right? He has no friends. Those kids are holding that limbo stick. Another purgatory reference, by the way. When they talk about limbo, he does the limbo, does it back for it. All you have to do is let me in. He wants to be your friend. He has no friends. He has no friends. This fiend, when I researched what a fiend was, a fiend is a shapeshifter, somebody that can be whatever they want to be. He can be good, he could be bad, but he is going to pry on the friendship as power. I feel like there's going to be a Freddy Krueger-like instance here where fear gives him some power. Friendship may give him some power. But they're stuck in limbo because Abby just wants to die. She's so close to just the death region. But she keeps getting back into limbo purgatory. So we are definitely in this hazy portion of not knowing where we are. But the fiend and friend, I think friendship, Especially, I haven't gone back and played the theme backwards yet, but I'm assuming that there may be something there too. But I'm telling you right now, the Fiend without the R, sorry, the friend without the R is Fiend. I'm thinking right now, he is literally going to be in that costume asking people to be his friend. And when they say no, there is going to be hell to pay.
Wow. That's
all I've got because it was only a 45-second thing. And thank God I didn't go down the black hole anymore. But there you have it this week for Detective Nestle. It's getting there, folks. Little by little, like an onion. It stinks. But it's happening.
Yeah.
You won't let me sleep. Just let me die. It's riveting. Riveting. All right. Now it is time to get heat-worthy. So let's do this. Let's get into something that makes you very upset. Like, really, truly upset. Like, much like, to me, the 24/7 title. Or as I like to call it, the Fitbit Championship. Or as I like to call it, the Benny Hill. Or if I like to call it, the Schoolboy Championship. Because we all know Nestle loves himself some fucking sneak attack pins every fucking second of every goddamn day. 6-7 segments throughout the week featuring R-Truth, which again, not a big deal. Watching Matt Hardy waddle around the corner to try to get him. And then just stuff like that just bothers me. But then we get to the fucking main event of SmackDown, where it's like we interject Roman Reigns to deal with Elias, and Elias ends up becoming the 24/7 champion because they waive the rules. So later on in the night, it happens for a tag match with the Mac. So the Mac Elias go up against Truth and Roman Reigns, which again, it is what it is. But it's a whole
hot garbage.
I can't get to it. It's so bad. Like, the presentation of Shane McMahon having Shane McMahon Appreciation Night is what it is. You can't get past it. It was a 32X, unless you do it that way. But I can't do it. I can't do it. I felt like SmackDown, when it wrestled, was good. When it produced promos, I was going, what the fuck are we watching? With the exception of Tea Time. But it was just so stupid. The Shane McMahon thing, the 24/7 thing, this is what I had. I fucking hate when people are like, you just got to give it a chance, man. I've given it a chance. And the fact that there is no hardcore, I get that. I understand
here's the thing about that fucking title. If that title, people cared about it, Roman Reigns would have won that title for himself. But Roman Reigns thinks he's above that piece of shit fucking piece of garbage.
Exactly.
So he gave it to his little buddy R-Truth. Oh, here you go. But we got to go back to the beginning. Because with this wild card rule, the Shane McMahon experience started on Monday. So Shane McMahon sucks, as we know. His promo on Raw was lawn boring. I don't even know what it was about. I completely zoned out because I don't care. He beat up a Samoan that looks like Roman Reigns. Great.
Just cousin, damn it.
Yeah, just like
the next in the Samoan legacy, damn it.
But they were making a big deal like Shane's wrestling on Raw. It must be a big deal. I'm just like, I don't care. Mm-hmm. That's sad. So that's Raw. It's like, okay, that's enough for the entire week. Then we get to SmackDown, and appreciation thing, like you said, zoned out. Elias wins that stupid fucking belt during a segment because, why not? So whatever. Elias, congratulations on your first championship in WWE. It's a fucking piece of trash. Then, this is what really bothered me. Shane McMahon says, oh, Elias, don't worry about the 24/7 rule on your 24/7 championship because that rule does not apply during your match. So if you get pinned, you do not lose the title. This title's been around 1 week, Nestlemania.
They've already got it.
And it took 1 week for them to fucking throw out the rules on this brand new championship that they're trying to sell us as this fucking 24/7 thing. I was fucking done way before this. I was out here. But no, there's more.
There's more?
A tag team main event involving non-tag teams. Of course. And of course, Shane attacks Roman Reigns in that match, but the match didn't end. Was it no DQ? I don't think so. When Shane hit Roman Reigns, that should have been a DQ. Roman Reigns should have won.
He technically blocked it. I think that's why it was
Doesn't matter. They made contact. Other matches, they fucking call DQ for that.
I know.
So, rolling the flag there. And then, then Roman Reigns doesn't want the championship. R-Truth wins it back. Why?
I don't know.
Why? Like, all those things that just happened, like, that is probably about 2 hours of your 5 hours. That is what you dedicated to that hot, steaming garbage. And your number one star in the company, Shane McMahon. seriously, the way he has been booked since WrestleMania, where before then I loved it. The Shane Miz thing we talked about, like it surprised every week.
Yeah.
It was good. But since WrestleMania, they have booked Shane McMahon like he is the number one star in the company. He is Stone Cold. He is The Rock. He is John Cena. Shane fucking McMahon. He took Elias, who we love. No matter what he did, we loved. I don't give a fuck about Elias. When I on my TV now, I don't want to see him either. Drew McIntyre, the guy who had so much momentum. I don't give a fuck when he's standing next to that fucking jersey-wearing buffoon. I
Wow.
don't give a fuck. Roman Reigns, who I always love and defend, I don't give a fuck. The Miz, my favorite wrestler of all time. I didn't give a fuck until he got away and was in the Fatal 4. I'm like, there's my Miz.
There's my
What have I said
Miz.
the last couple weeks? I have my Miz on Miz's Misses. That's all that matters to me. Well, Miz and Misses is on hiatus again because it was their mid-season finale, so I didn't have it this week.
You're very upset, JC.
I'm frustrated because it's one of those things. It's just like I just like nothing. Shane McMahon. I get it. I don't. I either
you don't
if
hate
it's
him,
on,
but-
I just ignore him, or if I can fast forward, I fast forward. But if I change the channel. Like on Raw, when I was flipping between that, every time he came on, I flipped right back over to the Bruins or the intermission report or a commercial. I don't. It's so bad. It's so uninteresting. It's not compelling. And at least like if we didn't have the wild card, it would be in one place, and it could be like, okay, that segment's not for me. But when you're making it the focal point of both your shows, Houston, we have a problem.
Okay. Well put.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about that.
That's fine.
I
have a lot of notes anyway, so it's fine. I don't really care
Yeah,
more about it, so I want
take
to move
over.
on. I want to move on. I've got a lot of things here that they're little things, but they're not like.
Nestle Quickies, let's go.
All right, so personally, I couldn't care less about Kofi Kingston and KO. I don't care about Ziggler specifically doing anything he was doing with the ambushing and beating. So it's like Xavier gave Ziggler a run for his money in the brawl, and then eventually Ziggler got what he wanted. But it was just like if Xavier Woods can take out Ziggler, how is Ziggler to me a credible source to go and defend or try to defeat Kofi Kingston? It was just like, what are we doing?
Bingo.
It was whatever. Then we get to the Uso block party segments where I was just like, here's a great segment where it's like, fucking, like last week they fucking won a match, whatever, everything's great. And then this week it's like, Naomi fucking invited them. Why? You guys gonna squash this beef. Why? What is wrestling built on? Beef! Where's the beef? You probably don't even know what that reference is.
I used it in a fucking super tease this week, bro.
Where's the beef?
Yeah.
That lady was in WrestleMania too. Anyway, so we get back to this whole thing, and it's just like, whatever. The cousin thing that we did with Shane, we already talked about. Who gives a goddamn fuck? And then we get to the portion of which I just want to say in headlines, we should be talking about the biggest merchandise seller of all time, Becky Lynch, throwing the worst rock bottom and a manhandle slam is what they call it. Now, Becky, look, you're doing everything great, but that rock bottom was the absolute drizzling shits. It was diarrhea. It was awful. Please don't do other people's moves. Just do your moveset that you're doing. You're an amazing human being, and I think that you're fun to watch. But this, I was watching going, what the fuck is that? Let's move on. We get to...
Is that they beat the Iconics?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, a non-tag team defeating your tag team champions.
Yep.
Okay.
Nikki staring at the championship, good stuff.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all we got there.
You don't have to bury your champions on the way. But I will say, at least they're on television. Unlike the Raw Tag Team Champions, who literally haven't been on TV since like WrestleMania.
Exactly. They won it, and it doesn't matter.
And also with the Viking Raider experience, again, absent.
Then we get to something that really kind of grinds my gears very quickly. They teased that Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe was going to have a conclusion to what the U.S. title championship problem was going to be. And then they just said, next week, Rey Mysterio will tell us what happened because he's injured. And then Joe comes out huffing and puffing like the big bad wolf going, you're going to do what I tell you to do, Joe. Ray, you're going to end up doing all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there going like, why couldn't you just done it this week? A 2-minute segment where he fucking hands it over. It would have been fine. But it's the fact that you advertise something and then you change it again to next week. I just like, Rey Mysterio, what the fuck? Like, let's just do this thing already.
I will address that in my hope shortly.
It's awful. So let's move on from that. We get to the whole thing about, let's see. What else am I getting? We talked about, obviously, in very much detail, the Detective Nestle stuff. The electric chair we talked about. And
Brock kicked off the 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. hours of Raw.
Yes.
Like, if it would have just been the 8 o'clock, then that would have been fine.
Fine.
But what was the point of dragging him out there again?
Because he wanted to fucking boombox, bro. Sammy and Rollins, fine match. No stakes. Didn't care.
Yep.
Great outing.
32X.
Did not care. And again, I love good wrestling. I watched it, but the minute it was over, I was like, all right, who's going to fucking come out after him? Is Brock going to come out? Is fucking, is anybody going to come out? Is Baron Corbin going to give him an end of days? Nothing. It's just like, we'll see you next week. It's Sting. We'll see you next week. Who gives a fuck? Like, nothing. No cliffhanger. Just a fucking ending. Like, just, why? Why? Why, JC? It's awful.
Can we also talk about how Raw broke the wild card rules?
Go for it.
Kofi, Ziggler, Woods all came out. That was 3. Roman Reigns would be 4. And
Elias.
Elias was on Raw.
Was
all
he?
right, and so was Carmella. So
Yeah.
R-Truth, I'll forgive because he's having a title that's on both shows. Iconics, title on both shows. Becky is the Raw Women's Champion, even though she's still a SmackDown Superstar. Those are forgive, but they said 4. That's at least 5 or 6.
Oh,
so.
they do it every week. Every week now. Every week. Kofi comes out with pancakes and then tries to be serious in a promo against Ziggler, with KO.
Oh, welcome to my boat on that one.
Oh my God. Like, just having him come out with pancakes in general and be like, I'm sorry guys, I gotta be serious. It's just like, what are we doing? What character are we doing? There's no Two-Face here. He's not Harvey Dent. Let's just fucking give him a fucking directive and let him go out and do it. He comes out and he fucking throws pancakes and he starts talking about KO. They've already recapped everything. Then Kofi and him have to fucking recap the recap. I'm just like, why? Why can't we just start off hot with a fucking match? It was a decent match, but what the fuck? Like, it doesn't matter. And I get that this was the match that was going to happen fucking probably at Super Showdown or whatever the hell it's supposed to be, but it's not going to happen, and now we have Ziggler. There's really no complaint about the actual match. I did like it. But it's just like they're building him as Superman or fighting from the bottom, which is good. And I appreciate it. The crowd loved him, and he's doing everything right. But in terms of the character presentation, the creative portion of it is just so fucking bad. Like, just so bad. Hate it. Hate it. Hated it. Hated it. Aleister Black had a promo.
Those things fucking suck. I'm sorry. Like, they're making this guy look like a fucking loser.
Nobody wants to fight me.
Loser! Buddy Murphy then tweeted at him like, I'll fight you.
Nobody wants to fight me. Well, nobody can find you because you're in a cavernous arena with a backdrop behind you. Not spin kicking people, just waking up from a goddamn dirt nap out of your goddamn fucking casket that rises. It's so goddamn cool.
Do you remember what I said the second week of the Superstar Shakeup? I was worried about them splitting up that tag team, but more so for this guy, because at least Ricochet has the third hour. Ricochet was in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Ricochet has matches every week on Raw. Ricochet still gets presentation. Aleister Black every other week has a shitty fuckingly produced promo about nothing. We might never see this guy wrestle.
No, probably not.
They're just like, fuck, man. Fuck. Instead of having Aleister Black wild card over to Raw next week, we're getting the fucking Undertaker on Raw. Woo!
Maybe we'll get Goldberg. Maybe we'll get Goldberg.
Shane gets an hour of Raw, Undertaker gets an hour of Raw, and then SmackDown gets an hour of Shane and an hour of Undertaker recaps. And then they'll show the fucking phenomenal Triple H Randy Orton package. I just don't need it on every show because it's like 10 minutes long. Like, it would have been cool one time and then show it before their match at fucking Saudi Arabia. Why the fuck are we wasting all our time on these fucking precious shows where the best kept secret and all these other guys just aren't on fucking TV? Fuck me, right?
Well, somebody should, but not
Cedric Alexander and EC3 fight on main event every week. Put it on Raw, damn it! I want to see those two go.
Okay.
Where are my Raw Tag Team Champions?
Non-existent.
Why the fuck is Ember Moon not in a ring?
She's clearly on the magazine, reading.
Yeah, she has plenty of magazines to read now, but Jesus Christ. Like,
The other thing, too, here's the last thing. I think we're through the heat and through everything else that I thought was noteworthy, at least for me. So we have the Andrade promo, which, again, we have Zelina Vega, but does not talk, and then he does his best to talk, which is fine. They throw to a random clip of Finn Balor talking about how he took a powerbomb and how he can't wrestle. But the way that he threw to it and the way that he talked out of it didn't make any goddamn sense. And the way that Andrade was speaking, it made it seem like Finn Balor challenged him to a match at Super Showdown. But that was not the case in the promo that they threw.
That match was booked like 3 weeks ago.
No, but they didn't make any convoluted sense of what it was. It was like a sandwich that was made with what you have left in the refrigerator. And I just didn't understand, why am I eating a cheese sandwich with mustard? Granted, most of the time it's delicious. But what the fuck? This is a match where the Demon is going to take on Andrade. But I will not care about how we get there. But I just want to see the goddamn match. But the fucking buffoonery, the fucking schmoz-like mentality that is happening here, folks. I just look at it and I was like, what are we doing? Awful. Awful cakes. Awful cakes, JC. That's all I got. I'm done wrapping it with a nice shitty fucking bow. We are done with the hot, hot, hot heat.
Glorious! I won't give in.
Your hope.
I won't give in.
Since you've
till
cheesed
I'm
it.
victorious.
You cheesed it and you teased it.
Well, he might factor into my hope because you know what I want for the U.S. title? You know what I like? You know what I've been saying about the U.S. title? I want it to be a wrestling title.
a wrestling.
So you know what you do when you want to make something a wrestling title? You determine it by wrestling. So why not? Let's just do a fucking tournament. Lead it up. When's the next pay-per-view after fucking Blood Money? Whatever that is, that's what I want it to call.
Probably Extreme Rules. Who knows?
So there's a couple ways you can do it. Obviously, 8-man tournaments make the most sense. You know, you're looking at Raw. There's plenty of guys that I would like to see vie for it. Obviously, Samoa Joe. Mm-hmm. So you could either have Samoa Joe be part of the 8-man tournament, or the winner of the 8-man tournament faces Samoa Joe at the next pay-per-view.
Sure.
Which is what I'm kind of leaning towards, because then you get 8 fresh guys. I don't know. Cesaro and Ricochet seem like they're pretty good wrestlers. They'd be pretty good for a wrestling title. What about guys like Cedric Alexander? Guy like Bobby Lashley and Miz might not have anything to do since they lost the contendership. How about, did I say Robert Roode yet? Yeah, no. He's held the title before. He's not on TV. Better than having him doing hokey backstage segments. Why not put him in a ring? Oh, by the way, last I checked, Tyler Breeze is still employed there. I know he's down at NXT, but he's technically a Raw superstar. I'd like to see him lose to someone in the first round of the tournament. I already mentioned his name like 10 times today. The top 1%, EC3. That's like 9 or 10 people there. Mm-hmm. Plenty of people to fill out a tournament where you could have compelling single matches for 10 to 15 minutes as part of Raw leading up to this title, making it be like, wow, these people really want this title. And I get to see wrestling for it. You can do your quick little cell phone promos or whatever leading in. Those are fine. But it's just make this the wrestling title, because you're still going to have your talk, especially with the main event. And that's fine. It's part of the show. It's entertainment, but you need to have really good singles wrestling too. And this is a good way to do it. Just get these guys on TV, get them wrestling. I don't care who wins.
Get them on your
Cesaro,
TV.
Ricochet, fucking surprise me. Samoa Joe wins it back. I literally don't care. I just want good wrestling. That's my hope. Simple. JC's hopes come true. JC knows. Take a page out of my book, Vince. You've done it before. And when you do, you usually succeed. Help me help you.
What a plea from the man known as JC. My comeback this week is about the 24/7 title because I
Your what?
24/7 title?
Your what? You said comeback.
Oh, sorry. My hope. Sorry.
There you go.
I'm already excited about my comeback. So look, the 24/7 title for my hope is just very, 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 very simple. It's a championship that nobody cares about. It's a championship that nobody's going to watch. It's a throwaway thing every time. It's like slapstick, yada, 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 yada. Everybody's running towards somebody who has the championship. And I thought to myself, everybody's running to somebody or after somebody. Exactly. What are they running from? They're not running from anything. They should be running from somebody.
Drake Maverick.
What I would like to see is something that I believe would be hilarious and, in my opinion, would take away one segment here and one segment there and just make it one segment, or multiple segments that are smaller, which I would believe maybe even might be better than what we see on television. Everybody's running towards our truth, trying to whoop, whoop, whoop all over the place. You give the 24/7 championship to Braun Strowman. Because he's literally doing nothing anyway, and at least nobody's going to be running to him. No one's going to be running at him to try. Imagine the Looney Tune violence that could occur with you won't get the hardcore championship, I get it, but just having Strowman carry around that fucking piece of tin and just like running around destroying things, actively looking to defend it and people running away from him is so much better than having all these fucking like running around like that. Like Matt Hardy ran around the corner with his fucking fluffy hair and a V1, by the way. V1! He had a shirt on and just waddled around the corner with the rest of them. I'm just like, what are we watching? What clown car are we watching this week? But think about it from a reverse angle of Braun Strowman getting 24/7 championship and just being the fucking mountain guy that never fucking loses it or loses it on a technicality someday, but just having people like scared of him and be like, oh, God, you wanted to be a champion. Be like, no, thank you. I'll go over here. Like stuff like that would be funny. Like imagine like Drake trying to like hide in a closet and trying to wait for the moment to fucking like, maybe fucking Strowman ties his shoe and fucking jumps on him and then they fucking go spinning into fucking hardcore heaven. Something like that would be great to me. Give me something like that because at least it's different. Because right now we're getting week after week, segment after segment of the same goddamn thing. Hide and go seek, fucking Fitbit, schoolboy bullshit, where I just want something different. Where it's literally, how many times can you run around? How many times can you interject yourself into a promo or match? How many times can you do it? It's already overplayed and it's 2 weeks into this goddamn thing. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Give me something different. Give me Braun Strowman. That's all I can think of. That is my
It's not a bad solution
hope.
to a bad. It's a good solution to a problem, but temporary.
Temporary solution.
No, but I think that's also because you're right. They're not doing anything with Braun.
No.
It would be way more interesting this way.
Yes.
Because he's like that legit hurdle, and the way he does eventually lose it, like it could
Then
be like
somebody will matter.
Somebody who matters lays him out, and then somebody sniveling guy comes in and takes it.
Yes.
It's a good way to elevate it too, because like he'll probably have that thing for a couple months.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a good way to establish it a little bit. But
Yeah.
Which
Well,
they're
you know
kind of
he's-
like right now. It's just this title is just a way for them to like show the best aspects of our truth,
Sure.
but it's not really showing the best aspects of the title.
No, of course not.
But oh well, it is what it is.
My hope. All right, your comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
Are you backing up a truck? They got new music, by the way.
I'm giving it to the heavy boys. Heavy machinery.
Ben's
That's
all
right,
excited.
Ben. Heavy machinery is getting my comeback. Not only because the Otis loves Mandy as much as I do. That's like the one thing we have in common, and we both like steak. But so two things in common: steak, Mandy and steaks.
Dates with Mandy and steaks.
Yep. But we got the Planet's champions back.
Yes.
Their promo, by the way, that we didn't talk about, but that promo, it was fucking accurate as fuck. There is no SmackDown tag team division. These guys are like the only guys in it. It's a feud that makes sense because Otis and the other guy,
Tucker, who was also medium cast.
They're very-
He looks just like Big Cass, but smaller version.
Yeah, but he
and he
doesn't-
talks just like him too. You next time you see Tucker, he's medium cast.
He doesn't suck as much. But this feud makes sense because they like wasteful guys that eat a lot of meat versus the Planet's champions. And I think in ring, it could be some really interesting things because Daniel Bryan will really play well to Otis's over-the-top antics, which sometimes I laugh at. Sometimes I'm just like, Jesus Christ. But they get my comeback because this is something refreshing. It was something on the show that wasn't convoluted by bullshit. And it was enough to be like, okay, this is something I have to look forward to. And I really like tag team wrestling. That's why I was so excited about Revival Usos last week. So give us Daniel Bryan being in this division, trying to rebuild it is exciting.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they get my comeback, and I'm looking forward to what they do next, which is probably fuck it up.
So you're looking forward to the fuck up, you say? Yeah. That's unfortunate. Hate to see that happen.
That's what she said.
Sure. Hey-o. Rid-a-dit-dit-dit-dit. Sorry, I'm watching a lot of Office lately. So look, I just love the rid-a-dit-dit. So look, my comeback this week goes to, get this, Bobby Lashley. Because
Wait, what?
Bobby Lashley, my man.
What?
So like, I was watching the Fatal 4-Way and I kept thinking to myself, okay, clearly they're doing something with him. Because every time if you go back and watch that Fatal 4-Way, which you probably won't, so I'll just surmise it here. It's just, watching that match, I went, there's Bobby Lashley. There's Bobby Lashley doing something. There's Bobby Lashley looking powerful. This was literally a strong Bobby showing. And I know that it wasn't like, he didn't look weak at any point. This is the first time where I was like, they're trying to make him on the same level as Braun. They had him spill out to the outside and go through the curtain and be like, oh, guess we're done. Whatever. But like, besides that portion of it, I thought that they did a wonderful job building up Bobby Lashley, thinking like, okay, if they've got to sell Bobby Lashley versus Braun, this is the first week where I went like, okay. Like, it was a presentation to me where I was thinking, yes, I believe it. And it's hard because Bobby Lashley, although very physically gifted, isn't necessarily verbally gifted in that respect. And so I watched it and went, yes, do that. Like, make that his thing where he's powerful or just as good as Braun. Because now Super Showdown, I don't hate the idea of it. So I thought, again, where he's floundering after, of course, his little buddy left and is now gone to exile, whatever. But just now this is the first time where I've looked at Bobby and went like, cool. Like, they're doing something and it's meaningful and it's definitely worthy of my time. So there you go. My comeback goes to Big Bobby.
My problem with this was they booked the match before there was a story, and they kind of made the story based off like.
They went backwards, yeah.
So if they would have announced the match like next week, be like, oh, these two got into it in the Fatal 4-Way, and they have unfinished business. Be like, okay, you built a feud. Good job, WWE Creative. Good job, Vince. You guys did something that made sense. But no, they're like, a match! And they're like, okay, how do we make it make sense? Let's put them in a number one contendership match, even though they already have a match at the show, so the audience knows they're not going to win. So it's either going to be Corbin or Miz, but there's no way they're going to do Miz Rollins. So it's going to be Corbin, even though he wasn't originally in the match. It's like all these factors because they just can't, because they suck. Sorry.
They suck, Mike.
They do.
Okay. Now we're into the big finish. Next week, Geriatric Jobber's coming back.
Nope, we're not talking about that. No, the finish.
Voldemort.
No, we're not talking about anything Raw or SmackDown in the finish. Fuck that noise.
Wow.
No, we're talking, do you want to go
Let's do NXT.
AEW or NXT?
Let's do NXT.
NXT TakeOver this weekend. Don't forget, I'll be away, so I won't see it live, but I'll try to watch it when I go.
NXT. And make sure you go check out at TJ of the JK stuff this week.
He'll have a recap on this week's show, and I'm assuming he'll do usually as a preview for TakeOvers.
He'll do something. We're putting a lot of work on him.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot lately. He did a lot of AEW stuff, too, so support our boy TJ. Also, the Cruiserweight Report by Joe Stopper should be up soon.
Yep.
And tomorrow, also the Real Deal B. Cox.
Yes.
His NXT UK recap will be up as well.
Yeah.
So you have all that to look forward to on the Jobber Knocker, which you can find at jobberknocker.com. Buy our shirts, pro wrestling tees. All that stuff. Give us 5 stars, 5 flames.
We have a lot of ratings, by the way. Special shout out to everybody that's been doing reviews on iTunes, especially the Backcracker Billy.
It helps a lot.
We've got about 10 or so already. That's great, guys. Thank you so much for all those people that have put a great review of the Jobber Knocker on iTunes. Thank you so much because that keeps us going. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, go ahead. NXT.
But let's get into the matches. Let's get right into it.
Yes, please.
Singles match. Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. Who you got?
I feel like I'm going to go with the Matt Riddle.
Bruh.
I'm going to bro me unless you know me, baby.
Yeah.
Don't
I agree.
bro me.
Next up, this match. Oh, this is my heartstrings. This is like pants tent. Singles match for the NXT North American Championship. The champion, the Velveteen Dream, defends against one of my favorite wrestlers on the planet, Tyler Breeze.
Tyler to no likey.
Whoo! This is exciting.
I saw the promo. It was pretty fucking good. Next time you put your phone number on the back of your ass, maybe you'll get called up. I was like, ooh.
Oh, dude, it's so, like, this is like, this is a mark match. This is for all us. Like, this
for
is
Sherman?
This is for all of us. Everyone. This match is for everyone.
All right, so go eventually pick Dream anyway, because we know you're not picking Breeze.
You sure?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking Velveteen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I mean, it's great, but we both know that it's.
I don't even know if
Dream.
this match can live up to the hype I have for it, but that's why I'm excited to see it.
All right.
Next up, a ladder. This is a ladder match.
Yes, a ladder
for
match.
the
14
vacant
Dream.
NXT Tag Team Championships. For those of you that didn't know, the War Raiders, who were then the Viking Experience, who are now the Viking Raiders, just dropped their titles in NXT because they're on the bigger and better things on Raw, which are not being on television at all.
That's so much better.
You know, their feud against the Lucha House Party turned into a feud with Lars, and that's a match at the fucking thing.
Oh, and I saw that. I
One
went,
on three.
What are we doing?
More on that next week. But yeah, ladder match for the vacant titles. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus the Street Profits, dun 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 dun, versus the Undisputed Era. It'll be O'Reilly and Fish representing, and the Forgotten Sons of Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, who doesn't even have a Wikipedia page because he's been forgotten. So I ask you, who will be the new NXT Tag Team Champions?
I have it between two in my head. It's either going to be Undisputed Era or the Forgotten Sons.
Wow. Okay.
But I don't know which one. The other two teams, thanks for playing. But, because I love the Street Profits. I think they're great. I think Montez Ford is going to be a future WWE champion. He is going to be as close to The Rock as there's going to be.
All right,
I think.
all right, stop.
I love Montez Ford.
Don't curse this guy. You did the same thing with fucking Mojo, Carl Anderson, all that. Don't do it to Montez. We like him.
All right, fine, whatever. Anyway, I retract my statement. He's going to be Mojo
He's going
Rawley
to be
level.
very good.
He's going to be adequate at best.
Yes.
I'm going to pick Undisputed Era.
So I think there's a way that Undisputed Era could win all their matches if they go that direction. But you know what? I think NXT wants to give us something. Dun, 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 dun. And then that's why like nobody can. Dun, 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 dun. Street Profits.
Wow.
Yes. Upset special. I'm going for it. Why not? Why not?
Why not?
Singles match for the NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler defends against Io Shirai. I think Baszler wins this one, but I don't.
Yeah, I
think
was gonna say
this feud
Baszler
ends.
has to win this one.
Yeah, I think she wins with some buffoonery, and they delay this feud a little longer.
Baszler.
Singles match for the NXT Championship, a rerun in a good way. Johnny Gargano defends against Adam Cole, baby! And I'm going to pick, you ready for this? Adam Cole, baby!
Wow.
It's time. It's time. I also think Gargano's going to get some time off. And I think I just might have blown out all your coworkers' ears. I apologize.
Probably, yes. They're going to give me a whole ration of shit when we're done with this podcast. I'm going to go with Adam Cole as well, and because I believe that Roderick Strong will help him win.
Ooh.
After all the turmoil that has happened in the previous weeks based on what I've read
what
from
the fuck's up
TJ.
with that? TJ seems frustrated by it, too. I haven't seen a lot of NXT recently, but I obviously...
It's a will they, won't
am
they
an
breakup.
avid reader of the recaps. So.
It's a will they, won't they?
Yeah.
But
I saw a couple promos online.
I think that Roderick Strong will probably help him win. So I'd see that happening. Okay. I think that we get all the championships. Then here's going to be the kicker, right? Here's the additional thing you didn't ask me. Once that happens, we're going to have the Undisputed Era Tag Team Champions. We're going to have Adam Cole as the NXT Champion. Then it's going to be like, all right, let's help Roddy get the fucking the Northern
Dream title, yeah.
Yeah, and then you know when this happens? He loses and they kick him out of the whole group. It's all over. Then he becomes a bigger babyface. That's what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense, baby. Makes sense. All right, AEW thoughts. Let's do this. Cap, sorry, you're done. You can leave.
Cap's actually in Italy this week, so he said he's really relying on us to tell him what's going on. So
okay.
Hopefully we did a good job. AEW, where do you want to start?
I appreciated the Moxley portion. I thought that was great. I thought it was nice that he beat up Jericho. I thought it was even better that he had a brawl with Kenny.
Yep.
Especially with the fact that when he came in, not even JR knew, so it was just like they kind of made sure nobody knew because they got that actual real response from everybody. I appreciated that. I watch Being the Elite every week, so watching this week's backstage version of everything that happened was really cool. Seeing all the prep that they did in that everything and how much they care about everything was really, really cool. And especially like the presentation of having Moxley with Jericho and Kenny, you tell them this is where his level is.
Yes.
He's on that level. He is that guy, and it's not like he's just somewhere. I appreciate the fact if we go back to the Battle Royal at the beginning of the night, having Hangman Page win. I want to see Hangman Page become the AEW champion. I think having Hangman versus Jericho is interesting to me because it's kind of like they all believe in Hangman, and they all hate Jericho. So I think that Jericho is either going to elevate Hangman or Jericho is going to be the first champion, which maybe is into his contract. I don't care. But
I bet you they'll have the Adam guy win.
The Hangman, bitch. Yeah. It's a big deal because he's the only one that really left without any kind of will he, won't he be anything. Everybody else can go and do what they want, but Hangman had a good thing going in Ring of Honor, and they're kind of making it a big deal. So I would say he's a stud. I'm excited about that. I enjoyed the Battle Royal in the most ridiculous way possible. I thought that was great. I thought the Young Bucks versus Lucha Bros was fucking ridiculous.
Seemed like a super spot fest.
It was a spot fest. But I'm always in for a good spot fest every once in a while. I mean, there are people who are saying, there's no storytelling. There is storytelling, but it's at a different level.
Yeah,
it's different.
It's different.
It's different. For all the old fogies that are like, that's not my wrestling. Well, you don't have to fucking watch that.
That dude Phoenix had a spot that I had my jaw dropped. I was like,
yep.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
But again, what do we look for? We have to get to a point of we haven't seen everything.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't see that before.
And for me, the thing obviously that I most like, besides the Moxley thing, because again, the steps of him building towards this, him paying for his own vignettes on Twitter, which have been amazing. Apparently, he spent $8,000 to shoot that one, and he's I'm of his own mind. I'm like, dude, that's exciting that he's that into it, and they were good. It literally it blew up the internet. It's so simple, something like that. That's all you have to do. But for me, it's obviously Cody Dustin. Cody Rhodes is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Always was. He was always one of the guys through all of his fucking gimmicks that he did. He was the guy that just made the most of it and succeeded at everything he did. And obviously, I was years ago, we were doing this podcast at the time. It was our first or second WrestleMania that we did together. I really wanted Cody Goldust. Or whatever it was. I don't even know what it would have been at the time. But I wanted that match. It would have been probably one of the bottom card, but it was something I really wanted for them. They never got to have, so I'm glad they got to have their moment. Now it's exciting that they're going to be a team again because their run as tag team champs was a lot of fun in WWE because they're just malleable people.
Malleable.
And that was the one everyone was raving about. I know our boy TJ didn't say it was the best wrestling, but that's not really what it was about, and I think that's why a lot of people did it. But it's the type of thing that gets you into that company, so someone like me can learn about the Hangman Pages and the guys I don't know, or the MJFs of the world, which everyone loves, and I've seen pieces of, and he seems like I'd really like him too. You get them in by using the Jerichos, by using the Cody Dustin, because those are the things we know and we are familiar with. Make us familiar with everything else. It's something WWE doesn't do a good job of. Their solution is, more Roman Reigns, more Shane McMahon, as opposed to be like a little less of them and allow some of your newer guys to shine, because you know how you build people? Mm-hmm. We have to see them.
Yeah.
We have to see them.
It's true. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed everything about it. I mean, there were a couple things where I wasn't thrilled with the 6-woman tag. I thought that was, I mean, it has nothing to do with them being Japanese. It just didn't look right. The crowd didn't pop when the thing ended because I think it screwed up at the end there. I really enjoyed the fact that Amazing or Awesome Kong, depending on who you talk to, was back. I thought that was
great. Is she using the name Awesome Kong?
She's using Awesome Kong. Yeah, I enjoyed that woman so much. I think she's so different from everything else. Good. And I enjoyed that very, very much. I thought that was a great time. So overall, I really enjoyed it. And I'm glad that it's happening because it's fun, it's different, and you get a choice. And I think in October, I mean, the one thing that I will say that is a detriment to me, at least for a fan, is that I know they're not doing pay-per-views every single time, which is good, but also I can't part with $60 4, 5, 6 times a year. Like I can't do it. So
well, I think it's the design of like they want you to get together with a bunch of friends and do it.
Sure, and I think that's fine because I am so in for watching Tuesday nights if that's where it is and everything like that, or wherever it ends up on TNT. But I am going to be nervous in terms of like I won't be able to afford that portion of it, which sucks.
At the end of the day, they are a business. They have to make money. That's how all these things have always been. WWE literally changed the game by making their own network.
Yeah.
But this is the reality of how this is. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for when they start in the fall, because whether you're a fan of just wrestling in general, like we are, and you're give it a chance, or if you want to be a staunch AEW supporter or a staunch WWE supporter, having some sort of competition, it's not going to be direct competition right away, but it's enough. It's enough that it'll get people a little bit, because it's going to be on national television here in the States. It's going to be on, in the UK, I think it's even going to be more readily available than WWE
not even cable, it's like the Prime station.
So it's just that competition, it makes everyone get better. So I think this is probably like the best thing for WWE. Again, Moxley, Ambrose, or whatever you want to call him, talked about it a lot on Jericho's thing. Like that, he hopes that it forces them to change. Because obviously, like, it's one of those things. It's like, even though you all work for different companies, these people are all bonded. Mm-hmm. They're all professional wrestling. So you want the industry as a whole to succeed. So having someone else to challenge the top dog, that forces the top dog to not be as complacent. Mm-hmm. And it forces everyone else to build up and think they have a chance. So we are entering a very exciting time.
Yeah, it's good.
In the wrestling world. We're already seeing it getting mainstream. Like, I'm watching an NBA game, and they're fucking reading an AEW promo. All of a sudden, like, Fox and NBC are starting to, like, leak out promotions for WWE. It's like, it's becoming more mainstream, and that is exciting. Yeah. Exciting for us in the industry. Everyone should be excited. We're excited. Yay!
I think we're done. So on that note, do you want to socialize? We kind of already did.
I kind of already. I'm
all right.
Fucking Christ.
He's Christ. He's done.
I'm Christ?
He's Christ. He's Buddy Christ. No,
look, those initials.
All right, yeah, exactly. So thank you for listening to the Jobber Knocker. We'll be back next week with more Jobber Knockery.
And more Mandy on the Mag, baby!